Most travelers come to Jordan for Petra. But beyond the famous ancient city are deserts that look almost otherworldly. Canyons carved through stone, villages shaped by centuries of history, and landscapes that feel completely different from what many people expect. And most visitors never see all of it. Because Jordan isn't just an archaeological wonder, it's one of the Middle East's most surprising destinations. A place where ancient history and raw wilderness exist side by side, where hospitality runs deeper than most travelers anticipate, and where every region offers something the previous one never prepared you for. What people think Jordan is. When people think of Jordan, one image usually comes to mind. Petra, the ancient city carved into stone, and that image is deserved. But Jordan is much more than a single landmark. The country combines deserts, mountains, Roman ruins, modern cities, and some of the oldest continuously inhabited places in the region. Civilizations have passed through this land for thousands of years, each one leaving traces that remain visible today. Greek, Roman, Byzantine, and Islamic influences are layered across the country in ways that make even a short road trip feel like moving through chapters of world history. And once you move beyond Petra, a completely different side of Jordan begins to appear, one that most visitors never take the time to find. Petra, the anchor. For many travelers, Petra becomes the reason to visit Jordan. Hidden behind a narrow canyon known as the Sick, the city slowly reveals itself. Towering facades emerge from red sandstone cliffs. Ancient tombs and temples stretch across the landscape. Built more than 2,000 years ago by the Nabataean people, Petra served as a powerful trading hub connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean world. The sophistication of what was built here, water systems, carved architecture, roads through impossible terrain, remains extraordinary even by modern standards. And Petra changes depending on the time of day. Early morning brings soft light falling across the treasury. Midday reveals the full scale of the monument city. And the occasional candlelit evening transforms the site into something almost unreal. But Petra is only one chapter of Jordan's story. And the chapters that follow are ones that many visitors never reach. Wadi Rum, Jordan's other world. South of Petra lies Wadi Rum, a desert so dramatic that it has been used as the backdrop for countless films. Massive sandstone mountains rise from open desert floors that stretch in every direction without interruption. Rock formations appear almost sculpted by something deliberate, rather than simply shaped by wind and erosion over millions of years. The colors shift throughout the day. At sunrise, the desert glows in shades of deep orange and amber. By afternoon, the red stone intensifies, and at dusk, the landscape turns a shade of purple that feels almost too vivid to be real. And at night, the sky becomes one of the region's greatest attractions. Many travelers describe Wadi Rum as feeling less like Earth and more like another planet. The Dead Sea. Jordan is also home to one of the most unusual places on Earth, the Dead Sea. Its extreme salt concentration, nearly 10 times saltier than the ocean, allows people to float effortlessly on the surface without any effort at all. Books stay dry, conversations carry on, and the experience of weightlessness in open water is genuinely difficult to describe to someone who hasn't felt it. But beyond the novelty, the landscape itself is remarkable. Desert mountains surround the shoreline on both sides, creating a basin that sits nearly 430 meters below sea level, making it the lowest point on Earth's surface. The air feels different here, thicker, more pressurized, and the mineral-rich mud along the shoreline has attracted visitors for centuries, long before modern wellness culture gave it a name. And the experience is unlike almost anywhere else. It's one of those places that earns its reputation completely, not through photographs, but through the simple physical reality of being there. Most visitors leave Jordan thinking they've seen it. But the deeper you explore, the more it changes. Petra gives way to desert. Desert opens into ancient cities. Cities connect to coastlines and canyons that most people never find on their itineraries. If you enjoy discovering destinations beyond the obvious, this channel is built for that. Not just the highlights, the full picture. Amman and daily life. One thing many travelers discover is that Jordan isn't only about ancient history, it's also about everyday life. In Amman, the country's capital, modern neighborhoods blend with ancient ruins in ways that don't feel forced or curated. The old city and the new city coexist naturally, each one informing the character of the other. Markets fill the streets with color, noise, and the smell of spices that have been traded in this part of the world for centuries. Cafes remain gathering places where conversation stretches across hours, and no one seems to be in any particular rush. Local neighborhoods carry personalities that shift from one hillside to the next, from the dense activity of downtown to the quieter residential streets climbing above the city. And daily life moves with a rhythm that often feels welcoming and familiar, even to first-time visitors who arrive expecting something more difficult to understand. The city provides a very different perspective on the country, one that feels less like tourism and more like simply being somewhere real. People and culture. One of Jordan's most memorable qualities is its hospitality. Visitors often speak about the warmth of the people they meet, not in a general or abstract way, but in specific stories about being invited to sit down, offered tea, and treated as a guest rather than a tourist. Sharing food, tea, and conversation remains an important part of the culture here, rooted in Bedouin traditions of generosity that predate modern Jordan by many centuries and continue to shape how people relate to one another and to strangers. Traditions continue to play a visible role in everyday life without feeling like performance. They exist because they're genuinely valued, passed down through families and communities across generations. And many travelers leave with memories that have little to do with landmarks and everything to do with people. These are the experiences that stay. Food and culture. Jordanian food reflects the country's history and geography in ways that become obvious once you start paying attention. Fresh bread appears at nearly every meal, baked simply and eaten immediately, the kind of bread that reminds you what bread is supposed to taste like. Local markets offer flavors that connect modern Jordan with centuries of tradition, dried fruits, aromatic spices, olives in every variety, and sweets made with pistachio and rose water that disappear almost as fast as they're made. Why travelers are looking beyond Petra. Travel patterns in Jordan are evolving as more visitors discover the full range of what the country offers. Many visitors still arrive for Petra, which remains one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world and entirely deserves its reputation. But increasingly, travelers are exploring more of the country beyond the single landmark itinerary. Desert adventures in Wadi Rum that last multiple days rather than a single afternoon. Cultural experiences in towns and villages where life continues largely as it has for generations. Because many travelers are looking for destinations that combine history, nature, and authenticity without one crowding out the others. Jordan offers all three, often in the same day. Who this side of Jordan is for? This side of Jordan is for travelers who enjoy contrast, for people who want history and adventure without having to choose between them. Ancient cities and natural landscapes that exist within a few hours of each other. Famous landmarks and quieter discoveries that most organized tours never reach. Jordan offers all of it. It rewards travelers who take the time to look past the single famous image and ask what else exists beyond it. Jordan isn't just Petra. It's deserts, communities, traditions, and landscapes that change dramatically from one region to another, sometimes within the span of an afternoon drive. And once you move beyond the obvious places, you realize how much more there is. How many layers of history remain visible in the stone, the food, the hospitality, and the daily rhythms of a country that has been at the crossroads of civilizations for thousands of years. Subscribe for more journeys beyond the tourist version. And tell us, would you visit Petra first, or spend a night beneath the stars in Wadi Rum?